In a world full of movie podcasts, here is one more. Welcome to Defend Your Movie with Sean Donnelly
and Andrew Fiore.
The time has come again. The champion must stand. It can only be one of us. Victoria! So stand up and fight, my friend. There's a title you must defend. Shut it on and on. Bring it to me. Defend your
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Defend Your Movie. Hello, Defenders and new listeners. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Sean Donnelly. I'm one of your hosts. I'm joined here by my pal, Andy Fiore, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, everybody.
We're so excited to be back. We took last week off. There's actually some big stuff happening that we hopefully are going to tell you guys about soon. We think it'll help the show. It'll be good for you guys. It'll be more stuff out there. It's going to be amazing. So, don't sleep on the podcast, yo. They definitely don't sleep on it. Yeah. But we're definitely glad to be back with a live episode. Thank you so much for listening. Andy, how have you been, my friend?
I've been good, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Take a week off. We see each other all the time, but then you take a week off and you go, I got to talk to Shawnee about stuff.
That's the thing. I wake up every day saying that. I go, let's talk to Andy.
You didn't respond to my text last night, though.
I did today, though. I did. I thought I wrote back. I do that all the time. This is the thing. So, you know how people use that as an excuse sometimes? They go, I thought I wrote back to this, and they write back. I really do think I write back.
I believe you.
I really do. I do it all the time. I fuck up, and I either type it in, and I don't press send by accident.
Yeah.
And then I wonder, I'm like, he never wrote back to my
Well, no, it's because you commonly you're actually a pretty good texter backer.
Yes.
Which is why I go, he probably just fucking
I also,
asleep.
when you gave it to me, I passed out. I was, running around, and I passed out, probably. But it was a good text.
Of course, it was about Seinfeld.
It was a Seinfeld text. This is going to be our Seinfeld mention for the day. You said your favorite girlfriend of the whole series is Mulva.
No. That's Audrey. That's not Mulva.
Oh! Wasn't that the card thing? Wasn't the no?
Yeah, the Hallman's card. How long do you have to hold on to a gift card?
Oh, that's it. I'm thinking it's when he goes in to get the name. Oh, yeah. It's not Mulva.
She runs the
charity
drive
with Danny Tartable.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's so cute. She's
super
adorable.
cute. Do you know who's my favorite, I think? And this might be unpopular with you. And I don't know why, but I don't think you've ever mentioned her. That's why. Is the one that dated Newman. The one that dated Newman broke up with her?
You know me well, sir.
Yeah.
Oh.
You don't dig her, right?
Bottom
she
of the
was
barrel.
in Groundhog Day, too.
Yeah.
She's Nancy, whatever her name is.
I like a really pretty face.
Was it? Nancy Taylor. Nancy.
Lewinsky.
I just rewatched Groundhog Day again.
Okay.
It's so damn good.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
It's so fantastic.
It's fantastic. Yeah, you're right. She's not at the top of my list. There's a few.
There's no makeup, natural beauty. I like that.
There's a few I go to. I like Audrey. I'm sorry, I don't know their real names. The hit and run girl, the red hair. She strikes a chord with the breeze over here.
The hit and run girl. You know why I don't like her? Because of what she does at the end.
I know.
That's so unattractive to me.
Hot.
She goes, listen, suckface.
She takes charge.
Can you tell one soul about me? She's like, but it's like it doesn't seem. They're trying to do something there with that line. I think it's supposed to be that she's just like intimidating, or like it's like an old time movie or something.
Right. That's the thing. It's like she would have said something way worse, but you have to conform to the network standards.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. She would have been way more vile. Sometimes they do that, where they throw back to like noir films because they dress Elaine like she's in a noir film sometime.
Right.
Like remember with the doorman episode with the couch when they're trying to figure out their plan.
Yes.
That's very like old timey movie. And you came to drop me off. I came to drop you off.
Oh well, they do drop Elaine into that kind of character. You know, sometimes when she's like, it stinks. It smells real bad. You know?
yeah. It's like that fast talking, like old school way of like movie talking.
Yeah,
you know?
I love when she does that.
I love it too.
All right, now fix me a drink.
It's so good. That's why that show's so good.
Bad story. You shouldn't be selling it, but nobody's buying it.
Yeah, you're right. She does it all the time.
Yeah.
It smells
One of my
bad.
favorites.
It smells real bad.
Yeah, it's enough with the smells.
Dude, the other thing is, I just bought Seinfeldia, the book.
Ooh.
It was written in 2016. I haven't started it yet, but I'll give it to you when I'm done.
All right.
It's supposed to have a lot of tidbits about the show.
You know I love a tidbit and a bit.
I love tidbits.
I love
one
both.
of my favorite things is to go on IMDb and read the trivia section of IMDb of all the movies that I like. That's where I get my factoids and conversation. So how are you otherwise? You watch anything this week?
Very well. I did. I watched the second coming of It. Part 1, the remake. A lot of people don't remember that it was a mini-series when it was in the early 90s.
So the remake you're saying was garbage?
No, I'm saying the remake was okay. I enjoyed...
But you didn't fall down scared at it?
No, I didn't. I have a very high standard for horror movies. I love the genre, and I thought it was an okay movie. It's got a lot of the horror sticking points that make for a good horror movie. It's got this very scary main villain, and it falls into a lot of the tropes of horror movies that I don't know.
I'm actually disappointed in that. I'll tell you why.
Why?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, that being said, I'm excited to see part 2, to see them 27 years later as adults.
And you think it'll be a better story. Yeah. Because they get down to the action at that point.
It did leave you on a cliffhanger. You go, all right, that was the kid version. That was kind of like, oh, whatever. And you got to remind yourself, you go, this is just the setup. This is the appetizer. You know what I mean?
Right. That's another thing you have to keep in mind. It's a prequel. They're still trying to freak you out, but the real meats and potatoes of the scare doesn't happen probably the same. Here's the thing. You know me. I'm a horror novice. But when that movie came out, I remember people saying how much they loved it. Like, people loved it.
Yeah, it made a ton of money.
I thought it was like, very unique or very,
This is just the Cool Breeze's opinion, baby. Listen. So I watched that, and then before we, I guess this goes into kind of the meats and potatoes. We should say Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween!
We all hope you had a good, safe, happy Halloween yesterday night.
And went trick-or-treating. Is there a new thing now? It's not trick-or-treating?
Gotta be. Yeah, I've heard some awful things where it's like my buddy takes his kid around. All the parents go to a parking lot and they put candy in their trunks, and the kids walk around. Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because people are assholes.
Oh, my people are assholes.
Because apparently trick-or-treating is not safe for...
You know what?
Not everybody celebrates it. And you go, all right, listen, you fucking pagans.
I want to adopt a kid just so I can criticize shit like this.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can't get a call, hey, you don't have kids, you don't know?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, guess what? I got a kid right here. And he doesn't do that. He trick-or-treats, and he goes and he calls for his friends.
I got a kid just for this reason.
Yeah, he's no food, no clothes. He's just kind of running around. But I got him just to prove points. A prove point kid.
That's his name. That proves my point. Pointy, get over here.
Pointy, get over here.
A kid just for circumstances.
just to get you out of stuff. Well, that'd be great. A kid for convenience.
I know a lot of my friends use that as, boy. And I'm sometimes very jealous of that. I got the kid. I
can't do it. Yeah. You son of a bitch.
But,
shall we get to the Halloweeny meats and
I was going to
potatoes?
say, if we wanted to go, a couple of my favorites died this week. We were off 2 weeks, so we had one of my. I know you'll appreciate this. Do you remember Bill Macy passed away?
Wait.
Yeah, who was...
Oh.
You might know him from The Jerk. More people might know him from The Jerk as the guy who creates with Steve Martin.
I can't picture him.
Damn these glasses! He pulls up in the gas station, and Steve Martin takes it and goes, actually, I've been working on this thing, the hook that comes on the bed. Damn these glasses! And you might know him, Shawnee, as... the director of Phase 2 of the condo development Del Boca Vista. He's the guy who leads the votes. That's Bill Macy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Goes, Apartment 6, how do you vote? That's Bill Macy.
Oh, he died?
Yeah, he died.
He died now?
He was like 80.
Yeah,
maybe even.
I would have figured he might be 90-something.
Yeah.
I figured he would have died. Because when he was on Seinfeld, he was old.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That guy died? Oh, that's sad.
I always had really good scenes with him and Morty.
He kind of had this distinct voice.
Yeah. Damn these glasses!
Well, and who else died? A couple other people died, right? Well, John Witherspoon died from Friday.
Friday, and a classic, legendary producer, Robert Evans, died.
Robert Evans
from-
died.
I mean, The
Why did I
Godfather.
think? You know what's so funny is my sister worked with Robert Evans when they did the Comedy Central animated show.
Oh, really?
She had to work with him because of the party, and she said he was one of the biggest characters
Yeah,
she ever met.
the kid stays in the picture.
Yeah, Kid Stays in the Picture.
Yeah.
'Cause that was the documentary, and then they
Yep.
did a cartoon, The Kid Stays in the Picture, or something else to that effect. And she said she went to his house, and he's the basis of the what's his name character in Entourage. Remember the clueless producer? Who plays him? The guy from Ed Wood plays him. He plays like he's really, really old. He goes, "How would you like if I told you
yes.
I got a script in my house? Would you like that? Would that be something
this
you
is
would
gonna
like?"
Kill me. He might have just died
Something with an
too
M.
recently.
Martin Landau.
Martin Landau.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Martin Landau.
Would that be something you would be interested in?
Would that be? It was great character.
Yeah.
That's based off Robert Evans.
That's hilarious.
That's supposed because after a while, Robert Evans he produced some of the biggest,
yeah.
like especially Randy, like right in your genre,
I
right?
know.
And right in your wheelhouse of the time frames,
Yeah.
the 70s, probably 60s, 70s, and early 80s.
Yep.
But Rosemary's Baby, a lot of
Godfathers.
Roman Polanski stuff, and. But then he kind of didn't do much after that. Like he did stuff, but he kind of was just like Hollywood royalty. So he probably got brought in
that
just for a
classic,
name
bronze
sake.
tan, slicked back hair.
Yes,
like
George Hamilton type.
Exactly, but just like the picture of what you would think a Hollywood producer would look like.
Absolutely, he became. Yeah, he's the trope. He's the
model.
guy. Yeah, he's probably one of the reasons that's a thing. You know, like the Robert Evans type,
Exactly.
whatever it is. Oh, to be honest, I thought he was dead too. I gotta be.
Yeah.
I honestly thought that Robert Evans had already died. He
know.
must have been definitely 90 something.
I don't remember how old he was.
He must have been sick for a
Yeah,
while because
but
you
it
didn't
was
hear
up
much
there.
about him.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. You go, God bless him. Still keep on trucking.
Absolutely. You know, these guys have tons of cash. They just have surrounded.
I guess
Actually,
so.
no, I'm sorry. He lost a lot of money, and then Jack Nicholson, his house was up for auction, and Jack Nicholson bought his house back for him. That was one of the things, I think, from The Kid Stays in the Picture. So,
Oh, maybe. That sounds right.
Yeah. And even Jack Nicholson now, I bet you're going to hear something about him pretty soon because
Oh, unfortunately.
I think he's sick right now, so there might be some issues.
but with all that death surrounding,
Yes, in that same age group, in that same friend group.
that brings us to a very spooky meat and potatoes.
Would you? We decided this week that we're going to go for our three. What?
We had to do a Halloween.
Had to do a Halloween episode, absolutely. Even though I am a wimp when it comes to these things, I've watched scary movies before. I have my opinions. I have my 3 top scary movies. Andy is not going to like at least 2 of my picks.
So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to pit my top 3 favorite scary horror movies against Sean's, and we're going to talk about them and see how we go. We'll have some laughs over it. But were you like me as a kid that you were intrigued by them when they were on? Because in my mind, I was like, ooh, I have an opportunity to watch something I'm not supposed to be watching.
Yes, absolutely.
And it scared the bejesus out of me.
I felt the same way about movies with nude scenes in them.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah. Or like the
That was a different kind of
Playboy
feeling.
channel. Like one time we had the Playboy channel in my house because we had my dad's friend's cable box and they switched it cable
Nice.
box and you got whatever channels were on the box and we had the Playboy channel. And I would sneak down and watch the Playboy channel. It was amazing.
Different kind of excitement.
Different kind of excitement. Yeah,
little
wasn't
scary,
scared of that.
too.
Actually, yeah, you're right. Yeah, a little scared.
The first time I saw it, oof.
Anyway, so yeah, I was. You're kind of like you're drawn to it a little bit, but I never fully took for me. I feel like
I was fascinated. I don't say what you want about me, but I was fascinated by like the Friday the 13th and the not the gore, because I still to this day don't like the overt goriness of some movies, like the Saw movies. Isn't that for me? I like a more psychological thriller. I like my favorite are ones that combine scares and like jumps with psychological thrillers, which I will get to in
so
my
maybe
number 3.
you won't dislike what I picked.
Yeah, I have a feeling one of ours might be the same, to be honest.
Possibly. Should I start with my third pick?
Start with
And I'll
your
tell
third
you
pick.
why.
Okay.
And I'm also a huge fan of this director. My third pick on my list of all-time favorite is, and you're going to say maybe it doesn't even count, but I think it does count as a scary Rear Window. Have you seen Rear Window?
I have.
Okay, now I think it's considered a thriller,
It's
but not
definitely
maybe a
a
scary
thriller.
movie.
Right.
The reason why is because I'll tell you, my first experience of seeing Rear Window, it was at my grandmother's house. I was like probably I would say at that point like 13, 14 or something. First time I've ever really exposed to like an Alfred Hitchcock movie. And also the circumstances that we're just kind of vegging out in her apartment. I'm on her couch like laying down. I got so in the zone. It's one of those movies that really brings you in if you take the ride with it. And it is super suspenseful. Like they create with very little, they create a lot of suspense.
Yeah,
and there's a couple of
Hitchcock
jump moments.
Was a master at that.
Like not without any gore, there's a couple of jump moments in the movie, and Raymond Burr is a great villain in it. It's like this, he does this great. It shows you. It's my favorite Alfred Hitchcock movie. It shows you how good he is at creating stuff just with a camera.
Oh,
it's really insane.
I think that was. So many people steal from Hitchcock because of those techniques that you saw in The Birds, or you even saw in Psycho. In Psycho, you don't see any penetration of a knife. No. You don't see any violence. Yeah. But it's terrifying.
It's terrifying. But Rear Window actually scares me more because they do this thing.
Yeah.
I think the whole idea is not letting people, not giving them enough information.
Correct.
So if you show somebody about to stab somebody, and then the drape closes or something, like that's right. Rear Window to
it's
a T.
Fear of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown. Yeah.
So many people flipped out over Jaws because you don't see.
Absolutely.
You just go, what? And then it finally happens. You go, Jesus Christ!
That stuff freaks me out
and
like
you got
crazy.
Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah, exactly. And he's great in it. You know,
what are they doing over there?
And Grace Kelly, you got a crush on Grace Kelly when she's in there. So that's my third. Okay. Because it's a thriller, and there is a couple of jump moments, and there's a great villain in it. Even though it's not like your Freddy Krueger's, he's like a scary looking dude. Like he's an imposing looking guy in the movie, and he looks like he's up to no good the whole time. And it's a really, really great. I love it. I haven't watched it in a while, but I really love it. Now I'm talking about it, I want to watch it again.
Yeah, no, that's what I hope you guys, the defenders out there, when we talk about movies, it might spurn you to go back and watch some of these, especially some that you haven't seen in a little while, because that's the fun thing about remembering a movie that you might bring up. You go, oh yeah, I got to go back and watch that, and then relive and have all that fun again.
Yeah, totally.
So with that being said, I could have made. I know we narrowed it. We had to narrow it down to 3 because I could do this all day.
Right.
So I have 2 honorable mentions before I get to my third. And this is only because I had it on my best of the year list, which in a month or so we'll be getting to our 2019's.
That's right. Holy shit.
This was number 2 on my list last year. It's not quite snuck into my top 3 yet, but it's very close. Can you guess?
Is it Rosemary's Baby?
No. It's a movie from last year.
Oh, a movie from last year.
A movie from last year.
Oh, a movie from last year. Oh, great.
It's Hereditary.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I haven't seen that movie, and I won't watch it because of how freaked I hear it is. And that makes total sense.
Yeah. It's a really strong horror movie. It's psychological. It's scary as all get out with the twists and turns, and it takes a major twist where I don't think, and if anybody said they saw that coming, go fuck yourself, because no way you did. It was such, and I give Ari Aster credit to his very first movie. He wrote and directed his very first movie. It's shot beautifully. It's beautifully acted. It's really well acted. It's scary as fuck, and it's just really one of those movies where afterwards you just go, Jesus Christ, man, like I gotta relax for a couple. I gotta go do something in a very brightly lit room with other people.
Oh yeah, so, you don't want to get you think you're going to jump out at you. And
yeah.
And then his follow up, people even said that's even crazier.
Midsommar is even crazier. I like Hereditary a little better personally, but Midsommar was just as crazy, and there's a lot I like about that too. But we'll save that for.
And the thing about Hereditary, it's got what's her name in it? Tony. From Muriel's Wedding, and
God, what's her name?
Tony, whatever her name is.
Tony Danza.
And she's a great actress.
Not Tony Collette.
Tony Collette.
Is that
Tony Collette? Yes,
that didn't sound right to me.
I know.
She was fantastic. It's got Gabriel Byrnes who's kind of in a semi-retired now. Doesn't do a ton.
Yeah.
Really, and then
held the door from once.
Well, you were a doorman.
I was off duty. I was a doorman. I was coming out of a diner. He was going into a diner.
And I held the doorman. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm off the clock. Sure, I guess.
Listen, I can't be doing this all day. I got a family.
Some have lives too.
Can I get a break? I just open. They have no idea. He has no idea that I'm a doorman. But
your friends say, "You want to work? Come on, it's just time off."
Get a little break here? Can you get a lunch break here?
That's so funny. But, so Hereditary, not quite in the top 3 all time, but very close to the list. And my other, I kind of made my top 5 with honorable mentions. The Strangers from 2008, I believe.
Okay, that's
very
for your number
scary
2
movie.
honorable mention?
Yes, and then I'll get into my top 3. Just a really scary home invasion kind of. We're toying with.
I won't see that because of how. Yeah, I hate those.
Here's the other thing: based on a true story, which you go, oh no,
is that really?
Yeah.
But how true is the true story? Did you look it up?
I think it's pretty true, and it's also based in a place called Tchoupitoulas, Louisiana, which is a scary place. Like it's about. I don't know if I'm right on the geography, but it's outside New Orleans. It's
right.
Louisiana backwoods, and middle of nowhere. And it's just that, these 3 people decide to just fuck with these other, and it just ends. It's so goddamn scary.
They have the masks on, right?
Yeah, the baby doll mask and the sack. It looks a lot like Jason Part 2, where he doesn't have the hockey mask yet. And it is really, really scary and a really strong horror movie. I like it a lot.
I wonder what the actual story was.
Yeah, I think I researched it one time, and it was loosely based on one of the director's experiences of
he went through it?
kind of lurking about his home when he was a kid, and from there he. So
it's not about one night.
I think I remember doing that research, but
just the unsavory characters.
Based on a true story.
So he's from that area. The director is from that area.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, it kind of fits into what my number 1 pick. My number 2 pick and go to next. Did you go to your 3 yet?
No. Okay, so sorry.
Right.
I know.
Exactly. You love scary movies.
Number 3 might surprise a lot of people, but it's scared and still scares the fuck out of me. Is The Conjuring.
Oh, I never saw it. See, this is another problem I run into.
Great recent movie. I think about 2013, 14.
Something like that. Yeah.
A really good cast. And it's the first introduction of the Warren family, who have now it's become its own little
franchise,
franchise, where they've used.
They probably made all
Vera
sorts
Farmiga
of straight to streaming movies.
What's the other guy's name? He's on all the Insidious movies. He's familiar. You'd know him, but it's that also based on a true story. This one is there's the house. It's a haunted house in Rhode Island. So you got haunted house. You have witch. You have. Hangings took place on the property in the 1600s, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's just all these demons come back and fuck with this poor family, and it's just scary as shit, and it's possession based. It's all the things I love.
Oh man.
And it's just it's visually scary, and it's jumpy scary, and it's psychologically scary. It's just all the perfect elements.
Yeah, I've heard that's a great one.
Really good, really strong, scary movie.
My number 2.
Yeah, you're about to take a number 2, I think, over there.
I don't even hear him on the mics.
I heard it through my headphones. That couch is barking.
My number 2 is Get Out.
Oh, really? Of all time?
I love that movie.
Yeah, okay.
2 things I'll tell you. Why I'm defending why it's so good and on my top 3 list. First off, because it's exactly what I like. It's thrillery and freaky without it being gory, scary, and only jumpy scary.
Okay.
The other thing is, it's a repeat watcher. You repeat watch it, you pick up a lot of stuff you didn't pick up the first time.
Okay.
The other thing is, I love the trope, or if you want to call it a trope, or the plot device in these movies where it's one of the everybody's on your side, and then out of nowhere the turn is no, you've been fucking that's why I love that movie Breakdown I mentioned in the podcast, where the guy helps him out, and then it turns into this weird cult thing or whatever it is.
Yeah,
that's why I love Get Out, because they're hey, they're all nice to him, and they're actually we're really fucked up and we're doing this thing to you. And also I think it's super funny at parts. Not that that's good for a scary movie, but it helps.
That is a good technique because it throws you off.
Yes.
So honestly, a good horror movie will have a slight bit of comic relief to get you out of. Everything's
so you can
fine.
get re-scared again.
Happy.
Yeah, so you can get re-scared again.
Yeah.
So you can just reset the thing.
Absolutely.
And I think just the idea of it. I also think the idea of it is the no hope. The key scene you can feel the tension in the key scene when she's looking for the keys in the bag, and he's like, give me the keys, and she's like, sorry, can't do it. And then you're like, oh my god, he's done for. He's absolutely done for. And obviously that he's getting out of it, but it's one of those things where you're like, oh, I don't see. If your brain still tells you, I don't see how he's getting out of this, when you know he's probably gonna.
Sure.
But also it's like, oh, I don't know how he's gonna get out of it.
And might I add, another very good actor who's come along in recent years, Lil Rel.
Oh, he's great.
From our world,
he's so funny in the movie.
Stand-up comic. He's a very good,
really good actor.
He reacts well. When you see people who can act, you just he's got it.
And the lead in that is great. And even Allison Williams is great. Like, she's awesome in it.
Bradley Whitford.
He's always awesome. And then what's her name? Is the mom? Kevin Keener. She's great.
Oh yeah.
She's always great. But even besides that, that's another thing I think happens.
His name, but the black guy.
I don't know his name.
I don't know his name.
Is that racist? It's also a hard name to pronounce. That's probably why my brain forgets it.
I know exactly who he is, and he's great too. Well, the only reason I didn't love, and maybe I will watch it again because I only saw it the one time. It just took a little too long for me. You know what I mean? Which, excuse me, scary movies sometimes they rely on the build-up too much, which is they rely on the big scary payoff, which is why I like it. Let's jump into it. Let's set the plot, and then let's let it roll. Let's get to the chill.
Oh, you want the stuff right away?
Yeah, I just don't.
See, I kind of like that. It was like, hey, it's this whatever kind of movie, and then you're like realizing it little by little, like the fact that, because you don't know. I didn't know that's what the turn, or what you realize it is. It's funny because the what they're doing is actually so ridiculous. It's funny.
Yeah,
but it's also really freaky. Like you just think they're like brainwashed
or something.
It's getting
you unsettled, which it's the same reason. God, excuse me. That I don't love the original Halloween because it's a lot of build up to make you unsettled, and you see Michael Myers peeking around bushes, but that's for like an hour and a half until you really get to the. Yeah, you know what I mean. So but
I'll
watch it again.
Again, it's also it's a quality movie. Like, even though the actors are great, and like I said, it's a repeat. You can watch it again. I think you'll be like, I'm picking up more stuff. There's even lines they say that like foreshadow. Also, like
I'll watch it again for you.
All right, great. Thank you very much. What's your number two?
My number two is The Shining.
Yeah, The Shining. I probably should have been on my list, but it's not.
I thought it might have been.
I knew it was going to be on yours.
Yeah, it's obviously Stanley Kubrick's 1980 classic.
But it's actually perfect that you said that. Really quickly, I want to bring up this. You mentioned it before. I feel like The Shining is the only Stephen King based movie that has been accepted as like a legendary classic film.
100%.
Like every time they try to do it, like he came out with Thinner. I remember I read Thinner, and it's so bad. So Thinner's bad. Even you're like, it's not the greatest. It's still. Like Shining is like a top 100 movie of all time.
When you got Stanley Kubrick attached to it, it's very hard.
That,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
right,
like the
exactly.
guy makes one movie a decade, and he's a legend.
Yeah, exactly.
So, also, Stephen King was on record saying he hated it. He hated what Kubrick did with it. So
if he had influence in other movies.
It's like, well, kind of when he has his hand in things, it really turns out shitty.
Because he's not a filmmaker.
His version of The Shining is so bad.
It comes out corny.
I'm on record saying I don't think Stephen King is a great writer, per se. I think he's a great storyteller. His ideas are fantastic. But if you read his books, you're like, it's kind of juvenile writing. It's not hard.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
It's not like intellectually hard.
Yeah, but I don't think it's supposed to be.
It's not, but you're just like, this is basic.
Yeah.
It's meant to. But The Shining, to me, as the movie, is just, again, going back to me being a little kid, watching it like on a rainy afternoon, alone.
Right.
Too young, and it's, again, not...
Like covering your eyes.
It's not scary until maybe... I would even say the old woman scene in the bathtub. And even that's not like a truly scary part, but it's a very unsettling thing, and you just go, something is really wrong. And it's a haunted hotel, and you just go, fuck, you can viscerally feel it. Like, that's why it comes across so great.
Yeah.
And then it goes off, and then it goes off the rails, and then it's...
Well, even that classic shot of the kid and the big wheel. And it's almost like you're experiencing it with him. Yeah.
You still watch that today, and you just go, I know it's coming, but I'm still fucked up. I'm still freaked out.
Okay, and so my number one, and you're gonna...
I'm very excited.
Here's the thing. You're gonna probably hate me for this. Maybe you will. Maybe
That's
you won't.
impossible.
And I will say before I say what it is, it's the idea of this thing is what freaks me out so much. So you pretty much could have had any style movie, but as long as you stick to the idea of it, the idea of it freaks me out so much, and it's so like it could happen in a dystopian future that I'm like, I'll get freaked out watching any version of this, unless it's so ridiculous, which I think it's getting to the point of, because they've done sequels and now they have a TV show. Do you know which one movie I'm thinking?
No.
The Purge.
Really?
The Purge idea freaks me the fuck out. And he also, that's why the Stranger Thing does too, because anything with masks with people you don't know, like regular
Sure.
people,
Yeah,
freaks
very
me.
similar.
If it's not some legendary Jason thing, and it's just, hey, why is this random dude just wearing a mask? That freaks me out.
I've never seen any of the Purge movies.
Here's the thing. The first one is just based. It's almost like Strangers.
Home Invasion.
It's Home Invasion, and it's probably the best one movie wise. But the second one's better because they sprawl it out a little bit. But the whole idea of what they do, you know what the whole plot is. Obviously,
Yes.
They make murder
24
legal.
hours of-
24 hours
yeah.
murder, so everybody gets out of their system, and they have a more peaceful society. That to me, I'm like, they could have easily made the movie better. But just the idea of watching it, and just the idea of that's what's behind it, freaks me out the whole time. Like, because I'm like, this totally, it's not gonna happen in my lifetime, but it could happen. Like, you never know. Like, it almost reminds you of like something a government would do. Like with a or like, some kind of fascist government. Like, you think Nazis existed, so why couldn't this like stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the idea of that behind it, and it's a home invasion movie where it's like, it's pretty good. It's like one of those things where it's like, it does its job.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's like, well, this is legal also, so they're in there, like just the idea they're in there, and it's okay they're in their house is, it's free. And also, like we said, I am a complete and utter wimp when it comes to this stuff, so I'll be scared by whatever. But yeah, but I love what I love about it.
All right, I got some homework to do because I've never seen The Purge, and I do owe Get Out a rewatch. But I do remember maybe it just hits more of my sensibilities liking Us a little better than Get Out. Because of that same kind of, I was like, oh yeah, Home Invasion, here we go. All right.
I said I never saw Us.
Yeah.
But Get Out, I
thought it was a little, it got to the scares more, and it was more like, it's
okay. Yeah.
Just, anyway, my number one.
I'm shocked Shining wasn't your number one.
But you know what my number one is of all time. It's the scariest movie of all time.
I do know it, but now I'm blanking.
Just think about how we grew up, and I'll give you.
It's suburban. It's a suburban based.
A little bit, kind of.
What is it?
It's more religion than anything else.
Oh, it's
Say it. It's The Exorcist. I know you're. It's
you love that. I totally
it's
forgot.
The scariest movie of all, dude. It's the scariest. It is so scary, I think, for anybody. But if you grew up the way I think we both did, I went to
Catholicism. Yeah, you went to Catholic school.
As such a domineering part of your life. It just hits home so much more because, again, it was a movie I watched when I was probably too young. I was probably like 12 or 13 when I was able to watch an uncut version, which is, I think, a very big distinction. Like, it's on TV, on AMC. Things get cut out that are just gut-wrenchingly scary. And the idea when I was seeing it for the first time that this could actually happen to me freaked me out. I mean, just
see, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying with the Purge thing. It's like real world based shit.
Yeah. But the possession and then just the scariness of it and the unproven and like possessions and exorcisms are real things. Like,
yes.
Possession might not be, it's always written off as like, oh, maybe they're probably just schizophrenics or something like that. But it's still based in a real thing that could happen to a person.
Yes.
A person could go crazy, or maybe a person is possessed by the devil or a demon. And just the way that they do it is so fucking scary to me. I mean, Linda Blair, had lifelong injuries from getting thrown around and fucked with. And it's just so...
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's got suffered like broken back during filming.
They did not take care of people back in the day on the movies.
No. They had that room ice cold, like it was a refrigerator in there.
So they were they were trying to make it.
They show the breath. It's all
right.
It's not any sort of effects.
Jesus.
And it's just it's the language and the demon fucking with you. The vulgar display of power. It's just I watch it again and again, and it's scary. It's just so scary.
And it's a well-made movie too.
It's a really great movie. It's perfectly acted. Max von Sydow plays like an 80-year-old man. He dies of a heart attack. He's only 44 when it's made. He looks 84. And it's just the way that the demon fucks with the people. I mean, and it's a child.
Yeah.
So you're just... you're
relating to it because you're like, I'm a child. It's a child.
Yeah.
This is what happens?
But
this actually happens out there? That, I think being Catholic adds to it because you're like, this is a real thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, no, it's not, but that's all right. Well, it is, but it isn't. Like, exorcism's a real thing. I guess people get possessed, but like, they don't know what it is.
It's one of those unexplainable things where you go, I've heard about these things happen, but if you're, scientists will write it off,
Right, exactly. It's like doctors.
Can't possibly be the devil possessing you. But like,
and little Andy's over there in Jersey, like, it is.
Go
it's the
down.
devil.
I mean, you go down Wikipedia wormholes on like exorcism cases. Like you'll spend hours. It's so interesting to me too.
Well, because you know me, I'm all for it. I'm the big UFO guy.
Yeah. So. Those are my favorite movies, and this is such a broad topic. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Yes.
Tell us yours.
What are your top 3 Halloween movies? Hit us up on Twitter at Defend Your Movie on Twitter, and let us know which Halloween movies you love. What would be your top 3? Let us know what you thought about ours. And I'm gonna give it to Andy for the day because you just picked 3 better. Scary movies than I did. Like
I didn't even think of this one as a Defend Your.
We still have the thing. We still have the Defend Your Movie part. But like The Shining should have been in my top 3. Like The Shining is one of the. See, that would have. I'm shocked it wasn't your 1 because I think it's a freakier movie.
Yeah.
The Exorcist I haven't seen since I was like 17 or something. But
it'll still scare the fuck out of you.
It'll scare you. Yeah. But you know me. I don't go back to these things.
I know.
But that's the thing. I'll rewatch Get Out. Like I'll rewatch Purge. Yeah. I'll rewatch Rear Window. That's what I think I want in a scary movie is like, can I rewatch it? If it's super scary and it's like jump at you and I think I'm going to look like an asshole, then no, I don't. But yeah, let us know, guys. And also email us if you have ideas for the show or if you have matchup ideas. DefendYourMovie at gmail.com, at DefendYourMovie on Twitter.
Big things are afoot.
Big things are afoot. We're going to might be changing some things up here as far as the podcast goes. All good, too. There's going to be more of everything good. So, let us know what you want to see. Let us know what you think. Rate. We don't have a lot of reviews on the freaking iTunes. Rate and review on iTunes. It helps the podcast so much, guys.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate it. We'll give you a shout out on the podcast if you review.
Sure.
We'll check it. If you review, shoot us an email. Let us know you did it. We'll check out the review. Andy, do you want to plug anything?
Yes. Less than a week from today, I will be headlining the Fat Black Pussycat.
Whoa.
Right here in New York City on November 7th at 7 p.m. You go to ComedyCellar.com for tickets. And I've got Albany, I've got Nebraska coming up, all in November. So go to AndyFiore.com for all my tickets and road dates. And I'm in the city this weekend at this Comedy Cellar. And if you guys like this, what we do in the Halloween, our theme episodes, go back. We posted it last week on our week off. We did our live show for Halloween last year, and so it was such a star-studded event. We had Amy Schumer,
we had Sal Volcano, Ron
Bennington, and a shout out to Ron and Gail. Ron's father, Gail's grandfather, recently passed away, and they're such a close part of what we do here and part of our family. So all our thoughts and prayers, and
absolutely
send them their best. So if you see them, shout out and do what you do when people die.
Go through the.
I'm never good with that stuff.
Offer your condolences.
You know what you do. That thing you do where you lie to everybody.
And now I'm going to plug stuff after that nice little heartfelt fucking asshole. No. Once again, I'm sorry to hear about Ron's dad. And all my love goes to his family. And to me at Shoney Time on Twitter. I'll be at the Cellar this weekend, and then next week I'm in Florida. I just don't have the name of the venue, so I'll let you know next week. Look at my website, SeanDonnellyComedy.com. I'm also going to tweet out. I'm going to Key West. Then I'll be in Miami. So it's
Look
like
at you.
it's a half vacation, half shows.
Beautiful.
So guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. And stay tuned for big stuff. And we're excited about it. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye
Bye-bye.
Champion.